See, your heads must be really hurt with the constitution and all that. I want to make time little easy, little comfortable for you. Though I am dealing with the science topic, I don't think it will be really heavy. I'm not using board. I'm sorry. Today also I'm not using the board, but certainly I'll be able to suggest you some of the videos, some of the links, so that you can gain additional information, or you can have a refreshing information in case after some time you want to again when you find time you want to go through the details, so that with lot many technical terms, I know it will be really easy to register in your mind. I suggest whenever you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take a subtopic in the subject which we have delivered, and then use the links, and then kindly you try to acquire additional information. So yesterday we discussed about various microorganisms which cause diseases to animals, humans, and plants. All categories we have discussed, and we have touched viruses also. Today we will complete the session by knowing more about viruses, the kind of viruses that are existing, the diseases viruses have caused to the mankind, so that a necessity has arisen to produce vaccines, and how these kind of problems were tackled by the mankind and scientists. Let us go into the details so that you will get a comprehensive picture of viruses, diseases, or even bacteria also. Diseases, what kind of a problems they have created to the mankind existence, and how vaccines come into existence, how vaccines are developed, how they are generally tested, how they are certified. Those kind of details, if we give a final touch along with those details, I think the subject, the subtopic would be really complete. Well, we start with viruses. I will touch the outline of characteristics of viruses. Yesterday I told they are borderline microorganisms, very, very, very micro in nature, so that only through an electron microscope you will be able to observe a virus. The shape, the size, the internal structure of a virus can only be observed through an electron microscope, which generally magnifies any of the object to up to 10,000 times of its size. These viruses, they are in different shapes. Like I said, in bacteria, different shapes are available. In viruses also, prominently, viruses are either rod shaped or isohedral shaped, helical shaped. Helix means it's a twisted S kind of a thing is called helix. If you say a spiral kind of a thing, now some of the areas you see a staircase which is not twisted and spiral in nature. Some of the viruses will be of that nature, that shape, and some viruses are envelope shaped also. The helical shape viruses, example is tobacco mosaic virus. It occurs in a tobacco plant. It's called a mosaic virus. Mosaic virus, mosaic means wherever you find a mosaic means it is not uniform. There will be different colors, different shades. That's a mosaic. Somewhere it's green, somewhere it's yellow, somewhere it's brown. Because of the viral activity, the chlorophyll content is eaten by the organism, so that somewhere it appears brown, somewhere it appears it losing its sheen, slight yellow color, and then green color. This is called a mosaic. So helical structure is there in a tobacco mosaic virus, and isohedral structure, I told you, most of the animal viruses will have this isohedral structure. Envelope shaped viruses, Example is a flu virus is envelope shape. Well, these are only, I told you, academic importance because we are delivering with these things. Let us know kind of a base information so that we are not missing anything. And going into the superior content would also be more easier when you know the base information. This will have a viral structure, a viral cell will have two components. Inside there is a genetic material. This genetic material can be called a DNA. The DNA is present in human also, in plants also, in all living organisms DNA is present. If DNA is not available, the other hereditary which decides the function, the hereditary, and then no, the proteins it has to, all metabolism is decided by these hereditary substances called DNA. The expansion of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, and the second one is called RNA, ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, ribonucleic acid, RNA. Both are genetic material. DNA is double helix in nature. That means two strands, helical strands, two S-shaped strands. If they are intermittently, they are connected, that gives the shape. RNA is only single helix in shape. DNA deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA is ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid is double helix in shape. Ribonucleic acid is single helix in shape. The second difference between DNA and RNA is every ribonucleic acid, that means DNA or RNA, the genetic material, which is nothing but chromosomes, they are comprised of nitrogen bases, sugar, and then protein. These three in different combinations, it gives to, ultimately it gives to a structure called DNA or RNA. Between these two, I told you 4 nitrogen bases called adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine, ATGC. These are the base elements, nitrogen bases they call. Nitrogen bases form between A and T, G and C. Between them, a bond is formed so that the helix shape is maintained. Unless I draw a picture on the blackboard, you will not be able to visualize this. It's really difficult. But certainly, when you go back, kindly see in your devices for the structure of DNA and RNA, then you will understand. Take the information intact and then now go and search for the shape of it, you will find it. Then now corroborate both the things and then now you will be able to understand it. So these 4 things, instead of T, DNA, T will be there, thymine will be there, but in RNA, U will be there. That's called a uracil. That's the only difference. Otherwise, both are genetic material, both are representing the hereditary transfer of the hereditary traits to the next generation, and both take equal part in the bodily functions, metabolic functions, everything. Well, that's about virus. Sir, you want to say anything? That's the virus. So this virus, covering this genetic material, there will be a cap-like thing that is exclusively made of a protein. The cap is called capsid. The genetic material is called virion. Probably from virus the name virion has come, or from virion the virus would have come. What you need to understand is that a virus is a structure wherein a protein coat is covering the genetic material inside. That's all. Then how it is now, how it is active on a host. I told you, without a host, virus is dead. You consider it as a dead thing. Inside a host, it is very much live thing. That's why you can't now consider it as either live or dead. Based on a host, it takes activity, but otherwise it's prevalent all around you. It's very much around you. But it takes action only when it is entering into a host. That means now inside your body, if it's going, then only it starts acting, cause some kind of a problem to any human being, animal, or plant. Along with the capsid, it attaches to the surface of the cell of a human being. Cap will remain outside, and the genetic material slowly enters inside. The genetic material, DNA or RNA, it enters the cell, and this cell of the host, then it takes the whole cell of the host into control. Normally what happens in a cell, the metabolism of cell now produces things which are required for the growth of that particular organism. But here virus, what it does, it goes inside, it takes the functions of the cell, it will not allow to carry out its general functions. Instead, using all resources there, it starts producing its own RNA, DNA. So when it's full with RNA, the cell is full with RNA, the cell is almost dead. It goes to the next cell. There it produces, entire cell now is occupied with this viral DNA or RNA. It goes to the third one. Likewise, it almost now causes, it makes the cells die in a quick haste. And then no, it spreads like anything, so that no, you can find the organism is diseased, a human being is diseased. I told you two things. How a virus look like. The second thing, what is the composition. The third, the shape of virus we have discussed. The fourth one, the action of a virus on a host also we have discussed in simpler terms. Now, when it goes inside, I told you, it takes control and then now starts producing its own. Then the disease occurs. That disease is visible. That disease creates no inconvenience to the plant, animal, or human being. Disease spreads. So there is no control for this. So some kind of a viruses, see names I can know, I quickly read. Majority you know about it. Otherwise, you can find in the your material also you can find it. Some of the things now I just read quickly. Smallpox, cold, flu, measles, mumps, chickenpox, hepatitis. In the hepatitis, it's a liver, it attacks the liver. And then the hepatitis, you have 5 varieties of hepatitis: A, B, C, D, E. Out of that, C, there is no cure for C. There is no vaccine for C. But hepatitis B, you have a vaccine. Remaining hepatitis A, D, and E, they are not life-threatening. They are not life-threatening diseases. But B and C, yes, they are. B have a virus. C, no drug is prepared to control hepatitis C. Only some prophylactic drugs are there, but vaccine is not produced for hepatitis C. And some of the worldwide viruses are Ebola virus, Hanta virus, then flu viruses, swine flu, other flu viruses, SARS-CoV-19 is one of the vaccine, one of the viruses for which vaccine is prepared, and then your flu and such things are controlled. But you will have to remember this SARS, SARS-CoV-19, SARS-CoV virus, because this is taken as a base while preparing viruses for our COVID. That part I will come into a little later. Dengue virus, Zika virus, and then no HPV. These are all some of the viruses you will find on human beings. Plants, you will find animals, some of the viruses you will find is a blue tongue virus, foot and mouth disease, rinderpest, and swine flu, swine fever, rabies. These are all some of the viruses, some of the diseases viruses cause on animals. Plant diseases on plants due to viruses. Some is, I told you, tobacco mosaic virus, TMV, tomato wilt, cucumber mosaic virus. These are all some of the varieties on plants. But here, major damage is caused to the human beings by the viruses. That is why a lot of work was done on finding solutions for these viruses, or rather say the vaccines for the viruses. Some of the vaccines function on bacteria also, but viruses, since they do not have any drugs to control their effect on human beings, the necessity to develop vaccines has arisen. Our elders, they say, if you remember, elders generally used to say, if you cold catches you, what they say, if you take tablets for cold, in a week the cold will be gone. If you don't take tablets, then no, probably it takes a week to come down. That means there is no drugs, even these medicines and all that, they are not actually reducing the impact of flu. On its own natural way, in 7 days it goes. You take medicine, don't take medicine. The time for common cold is 7 days. You see, when an organism is infected with any microorganism, when a human being is infected with any microorganism, human body is going to keep quiet? Certainly not. The human body has got its own immune system. We call it an immune system. That means it's not keeping quiet. It fights tooth and nail not to make the organism enter inside. After entering inside also, it tries desperately to kill the organism which has come inside. This is called immune system. For various reasons, if you are really doing this immune processes, then any organism can take over us, any organism can infect us, any disease can come to us. One simple thing I will say, which you feel really surprised. Fever. Fever is not a disease. Fever is nothing but the response of the body to an organism which has come from outside. Some organism has entered inside. What is the first response of body? Body raises its temperature on its own, thinking that this raised temperature, the organism would be gone. But organism withstands. Subsequently, our temperature also goes down. When organism starts attacking other body parts, then the impact of disease is known. Then infection starts. First response of body immune system is to raise body temperature, which you call a fever. What are there to help the body immune system to attack any individual which is coming from outside, any microorganism that is attacking from outside? There are two components. One component which you have to see, which you have to really understand. In the body, blood system, there are some white blood corpuscles like RBC, red blood corpuscles. WBC will also be there inside the blood. WBC is white blood corpuscles, white blood cells. White blood cells are nothing but they are they will be moving all around along with the blood. No, they'll be going all around all parts of the body. They are moving along with the blood. Whenever any outside organism is coming, any impurity is coming, any suspicion is there that somebody has attacked it, it automatically it eats away, tries to eat away. We call it a phagocyte. See, it's a scientific term, but now you better remember WBC is the one which fights against any bacteria, any virus, anything which is coming from outside to attack the body and cause any disease. This anything which is attacking body from outside is called in scientific terms foreign body. Foreign body means it is not from your body. It is not from your cells. It is from something from outside which doesn't belong to you. It's a foreign body. Whenever a foreign body is there inside, the first thing that gets activated through body immune system is white blood cell. White blood cell immediately produce a different kind of cell called T cell. T cell. This T cell through WBC produces T cell. When it sees a foreign body inside, WBC produces a T cell. T cell tries to go to the foreign body. It tries to attach itself to that. Attaching itself is nothing but embracing that, so that the surface of the causative organism which is coming outside is only your T cell will be there as a surface. Original surface of the attacking body is not exhibited. This is one way of attacking it. Like in a fighting, what happens now in a two persons are fighting. After one person loses his energy and all that, he tries to, by holding the other person, he tries to stop the other person. This T cell exactly does the same thing. It stops the foreign body from moving here and there by embracing it. This is called a T cell. T cell, it is produced by white blood cell. White blood cell through T cell tries to stop the infection from a foreign body which is coming from outside. It can be virus, it can be bacteria. So this is otherwise called, the T cells are otherwise called antibodies. These are called antibodies. Simply remember like this, it's an antibody. It's not anti to our body. It is anti to some other body which is coming from outside. It's an antibody. How antibody is activated, how it is coming to existence. One small information which you need to know, which you need to remember also. Along with the antibody, you will know many places you see the word antigen. This antigen is nothing but the substance or the surface produced by organism which is coming from outside. The surface or substance is called antigen. Once the WBC sees the antigen, that means the surface of some other organism, some other cell of an organism which doesn't belong to our body, it produces T cell. T cell embraces the antibody, antigen. That means antibody is acting against an antigen. Antigen is produced by the microorganism which is attacking our body. Antibody is produced by our human immune system to attack the antigen which is coming from outside. In this way, the body immune system tries to nullify the effect of foreign body. It tries to its maximum level. Sometimes it will be subsided, but some of the infectious diseases, it will not be able to stop. Then you need to give some kind of a medication or some kind of a vaccine. These are all the means. I told you how human body immune system exists. What is an antibody? What is an antigen? Antigen is somebody outside cell organism's surface. Antibody is now produced by your body to attack the antigen. So we learned about antigen, antibody, and then no foreign body. Right. So it goes beyond the capacity of a human bodies to stop any infection in this fashion. After trying desperately, the energy is exhausted. It's no more able to produce effectively, vigorously to contain the disease infection, spread of the infection. That's why now here you need to devote researchers have to know, have come, they will come into the picture. They have to study this organism, and then they have to think ways and means to produce, to control it, eradicate it, and then subsequently in recurrences, how to stop it for further recurrences. All these things they have to come up with a solution. The solution is vaccines. Solution is vaccines. The thing which you are not able to control through your body system, through medicines available in the market, through antibiotics which are available in the market, the last thing for control of any infectious disease is vaccine. We have come up to the vaccines. Now vaccines, there are 4 methods to prepare vaccines. 4 methods, 4 kind of vaccines are generally prepared. This will be really interesting. One method of vaccine is very minute doses of living pathogen. Suppose one virus is causing you, see your COVID virus is causing you COVID disease. Then eradicating COVID disease or best medicine for this COVID vaccine is vaccine. How to prepare this vaccine is, they will take very, very minute living quantities of vaccine, the virus itself, which is causing this dreadful disease. Very small quantities of virus which is causing this disease, and they insert into your human body. Through vaccine, it is inserted into the human body, because the concentration of the virus which they are giving through vaccine is very, very, very minimal, so that it will not be immediately affecting the virus. The virus multiplication will not be faster. Meanwhile, because this has entered in your body, these antigens are produced, and body gets a signal, yeah, something has come from outside. Like organ here, when vaccine is given, immediately body gets a response. Yes, yes, something has come from outside. You have to fight against that. That signal goes to the body immune system, and then antibodies are produced. I told you antibodies are T-shaped T proteins or no T cells, whatever you call. They produced in larger number. They go, very small number of vaccine virus is there inside. Large number of T cells are produced by the body. All these T cells go attack the small number of viruses which has come, live virus which has come up from outside. It will cover everything so that it will not be allowed to function and then multiply in larger numbers. This is one way. This is called attenuated live vaccines. That means reduced quantity of virus itself is a vaccine. Virus itself is given a vaccine. Virus which is causing a disease itself is given a vaccine to fight against that. That means very small quantity is given, which will not be harmful to the human being when you are giving it is in a vaccine. This is one type of a vaccine, and till now some vaccines are produced in this manner, and I will give you examples also. And then second type of a vaccine is denaturated vaccine. That means no dead vaccine, dead mechanism, dead causative organism, dead microorganism In the first case, I told you live microorganism, small quantities is given, that is one kind of a vaccine. The second type is dead organism is given as a vaccine. There also, the body will not be able to identify whether it is dead or alive. It only identifies something has come from outside, we need to attack it. Same signal goes inside. What mechanism, bodily mechanism applied for first kind of a vaccine, that holds good for the second also. Even if it's a dead virus, automatically the body produces lot many T cells and it attacks the virus. That way also virus of impact is lot of micro antibodies are developed, and then no, it is controlled. The third is toxin virus. Toxin vaccine. A virus enters the body. It produces a particular kind of a harmful substance inside. It can be anything. It can be a protein. It can be a nucleic acid. The substance which they have produced inside, which is toxic and then no harmful to the individual, that particular substance itself is given as a vaccine. This is the third type of vaccine. The fourth type of vaccine is a RNA vaccine. In this, I told you in the virus there will be either DNA or RNA. They replicate RNA, one RNA strand or a particular gene which decides the production of antibody, a particular area where it is effective. RNA, DNA, it's a long chain of nitrogen bases. Depending upon the nitrogen bases, any protein is to be produced, any substance is to be produced, that decides. Here, what exactly is the action of a virus? What it is doing inside? What exactly, where exactly what nitrogen base is taken out? The virus becomes action nullifies, the virus becomes ineffective. They decide that, and then particularly a gene composition is broken from the original helix, original DNA or RNA of the vaccine. This broken piece is introduced into some other virus, introduced into that virus, so that that virus start producing exactly according to this broken piece. The order will be decided. New virus where this broken piece is introduced, that starts producing again no antibodies. This is the third kind of this is the fourth kind of viruses. Predominantly these four kinds are used in preparing these vaccines. Vaccines, see, examples I am giving. Attenuated a live vaccine, small amount of live thing which will be given, through which a vaccine is produced. Some of the examples for live vaccines are measles vaccine, smallpox vaccine, chickenpox. These are all vaccines come into that category. Here what happens is that why only one vaccine they can't adhere to, why there is a need to go to the four types of vaccines means, you are producing a live vaccine. In the live vaccine, what happens now? It needed to be, suppose the whole quantity of the people are to be covered. In case it is to be covered twice or thrice, it's not covered with a single dose. That means it need to be stored in a cool place. All over the country, you will not be able to do that. That's why there is a necessity to go for other vaccines also. This kind of a live vaccine example is the Oxford University is producing a vaccine which has entered into third clinical stage in India. That is the live vaccine. They are giving organism itself, virus itself, smaller doses. They are preparing into a vaccine and giving it to the individuals. And the second dead virus is given as a vaccine. The best example is our Bharat Biotech vaccine is a dead virus. They are trying in that way. Likewise, in the world, 5 to 6 companies, they are forging ahead with this kind of vaccine preparations. Out of that, majority have entered into the third clinical stage, and some are in the second stage. However, they are coming. Some are promising, that they would come in first quarter of next year, second quarter of next year. Likewise, various schedules are promised by the vaccine producing companies. I mentioned, I told you the 4 types of vaccines, preparation in vaccines, and then what is a vaccine, what is the lifetime for preparing a vaccine, how much time does it take, and what are the steps involved in its testing, certification, those things. I will take 2 minutes to brief it. Well, there are 6 stages in testing of any vaccine. In normal cases, to produce a vaccine, anything depending upon intensity, criticality of the issue, the 8 to 12 years are required to produce a vaccine which has to be prepared in a commercial scale and has to come into availability everywhere. 8 to 12 years is the requirement. You will be wondering, recently COVID has come. 5-6 months ago, they have started testing and all that. How it is possible in 1 year, 2 years time, they are producing vaccine. They are trying to produce a vaccine to save the mankind. All procedures, WHO and other certifying agencies have laid for vaccine preparation. They were flouted. Only in the interest of saving the human lives, they are going ahead in a faster way to give permissions to the vaccines, release all these things. So in normal cases, it is impossible to get a vaccine in 1.5 years, 2 years time. It is a risk we are doing. All scientists are agreeing with you are taking a risk, but it's a very calculated risk. That no, in the absence of this risk, if you wait for years together for the vaccines to come and save the lives, by the time lakhs, crores of people would be, this COVID eats away crores of people in the world. That's why they are prepared to risk it, forego some of the processing steps, and then now they are trying to release.